Okay. Okay, so we are doing standard 6.
To do
Today?
with assessments. Right, assessments.
Yes.
So, accommodations in assessments. You have, since the beginning of the year, let's I guess focus on math. An accommodation you've done is if they fail a test, the very next day you pull those kids aside and you reteach and have them retake. Okay. And when you notice a child works better alone instead of the groups that you have them in, you do pull them aside. Sometimes that child stays separate even outside of assessments.
Yes.
Because even they say they work better. And some kids just get pulled aside during assessments because they need that little extra space.
Right.
And you haven't, at least so far, experienced the need to like read the test to someone, but that is certainly one of a good accommodation.
Right.
Use of assessments. Use multiple assessments. Well, you do formative assessments throughout, not just the lesson, but the chapter or the unit. And as we talked about a moment ago, you can even make notes to yourself based on these formative assessments. In math, you do a lot of whiteboard work.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have them explain how they got the answer.
Right.
So you're able to assess their thinking, and are they able to express their thoughts about things. So knowing how they're thinking is important too. Substantive and timely feedback. They do it, they do the test, you come back the next day and you pull them then.
Right.
So it's still relatively fresh in their mind. And the kids you pull back, if it's a small group, they all had the same issue.
Mostly, yes.
Mostly, they mostly had the same issue. So you don't try to help kids, this child had this problem, this child had this problem. You try to keep it all the same.
Right.
Have you ever had to, like there were two different issues, and so
Yes,
you pull them back separately?
Yes, I sometimes work one-on-one with them
Okay.
if it's just something they're not getting.
Mm-hmm. And they seem to be fairly comfortable coming back. We had trouble, and we're going to get more. We're going to get more help on it. They seemed very comfortable with that. They didn't seem.
Right.
They didn't seem like embarrassed or
No,
anything like that. They know that
aren't.
this is part of the learning process. It's not a punishment.
Right.
So I mean, it looks like they understood that. You're just trying to help them get better. It's not any kind of punishment.
Right.
Align with learning objectives. Well, yeah. Especially if it's a test that came with the program. But you do look it over beforehand.
Yes.
And there have been times where you look at one and say, okay, I'm going to take that out.
Right.
Or I know that the class is going to need a little extra help on this one, so you talk about it. You
Right.
look over the test with the kids before they start it.
Yes.
Right.
Always.
Yep. See if there are any basic questions before you start.
Yes.
And both formative and summative. The more you do that helps you and helps them, so you can vary how to approach it, like the next day. If you need to accommodate anyone, but making notes to yourself even about these children are having trouble, so I need to make sure I focus on them, especially tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Or these kids are really getting it, so I'm going to move them on tomorrow. Whether it's like in math, higher numbers to work with, or even like the next step in that type of equation. Alright, so, I mean, and that's your assessments.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.